Lord Jones, what do you make of UK trade and investments, trade missions to BRIC countries and other countries? Do you think it's doing enough, or should UK PLC be doing more globe-trotting?
UK trade and investment, owned by the government, owned by you and me, and it has a track record of stimulating trade for British companies and attracting inward investment, which creates jobs and make profits in Britain. And I mean, this organisation, for every pound that it spends of taxpayers' money, it returns £19 worth of value. Now that's a fabulous return on investment. All I would say is, why doesn't this government build on that, actually spend more money on getting smaller businesses to exhibit overseas, go into new markets, train the people in these small businesses to understand different markets? Because we've become quite used to, and thankfully we have, in investing and trading with the European Union. Excellent, home market, just over the channel, no trouble. Of course, 40% of our trade's been with the Eurozone, fallen off a cliff. Well, when my mum and dad owned the shop, where I was born and brought up, if 4 out of 10 customers no longer came in, the result would have been huge unhappiness. So we've got to get these businesses to be more outward, beyond Europe, into emerging markets. And I think your and my money, some of it should be spent on further investment in businesses to trade. Education,
a big pet subject for you. Your book chastises a system where, after 11 years of free and compulsory education, only 50% of kids leaving with GCSEs are reaching grades A* to C.
In English and maths, yeah. I mean, after 11 years of full-time free compulsory education, 5 to 16, after 11 years, half the kids who take a GCSE do not get grade C or above in English and maths. And we want to take on China, do we? We want to actually beat India, do we? Don't make me laugh. It is dreadful, and I think we've got to put more squeeze on the schools to deliver better results in this respect. You can't keep beating up the teachers when they will say, but the parents aren't coming to this either. A lot of parents are abrogating their responsibilities, and I think we have to get more into communities and get parents to accept it is partly their responsibility. And also, let's get more employers working in with schools, so in schools, the teachers and the pupils understand the importance and the relevance of why this has to be done.
You're referring to a model perhaps such as the university technical colleges.
Yeah.
Do you think that's something that we should encourage and develop more of?
Yes, I think, to get employers, especially the private sector, engage more with getting people to come out of school fit for the world of work. Making sure that they have a ticket, making sure that they can move into a job because they have a skill. It's then for employers to add the skills that are needed. But I think employers are entitled to say to the education system, hey, just deliver me the raw material with you. And I think UTCs have a real role to play in that, especially in manufacturing. Because in manufacturing, you can, in so many areas, actually build through the workplace the additional skills. But I think they are entitled to say, we want the basics there when they start.
Lord Jones, on investments, are companies investing in the right equipment, processes and people to adequately compete in Asia's century?
I think a lot of companies are doing more than they ever used to. I think in automotive, aerospace, I mean, we're seeing some fabulous stories of quality investment, quality training, leading to competitive products that are selling around the world. And the getting richer Asia is buying British manufactured goods. Great news. What we need is further down the supply chain, we need the same level of investment, the same level of training, and the same quest for excellence. Will it come? I actually think it will. I think manufacturing is going to have its day, actually. But it needs a lot of pressure being put on smaller companies who can shelter inside the supply chain, but we need them exposed outside a bit more.
But it's often the smaller companies that have the real difficulty in accessing finance. What's the solution? Some kind of two-tiered system where smaller businesses get a better rate?
At the moment, there's a capital issue in all, because the big companies have got the money in the balance sheet, but they have no confidence in the economy and aren't going to invest it, which is a shame. And your smaller company hasn't got the money in the balance sheet. And of course, they've lost trust in the banking sector, because it was the banks who said to them in 2008, can I have it back, please? And they managed, those who survived, to get it back to them, but great humiliation and family and friends and all that stuff. We don't expect that business to go and trust the bank again. And at the same time, we're being unfair, and especially politicians, I think, and journalists are being unfair with banks to say, you're not lending. Oh, but by the way, we don't want you to go bust. And we do want you to lend as a pawnbroker. In other words, if you don't get the money, then you can sell the house over their heads. No, you don't. So what do you want the banks to do? Do you want them actually to generate profit to pay back debt? Do you want them to generate profit and pay tax? Do you want them to generate profit so that they can put it on one side in case their investment goes bust? Generate the profit so that actually they have the money to lend? All that off the same money. It's just not on, and we need actually to work with the banks these days as opposed to make them the whipping boys all the time.
Final question, if I may. Do you advocate picking winners?
Do I believe in picking winners? I am one of those people who would let the market pick the winner and also let the shareholder pick the winner, let the investor pick the winner. And also, by the way, let the employee pick the winner, because talent will go to the companies where the employees think they're going to succeed. What I wouldn't do is trust a politician or a civil servant to make a judgment on where to put my money to facilitate companies to grow. There is a name for people who try and pick winners with taxpayers' money. It's called the Soviet Union.
Lord Digby Jones, Baron Jones of Birmingham, thank you for giving us this interview. Thank you very much.
It's my pleasure.